Live, straight to YouTube and straight to you. Today, we're going to talk about 3 easy ways that you can build more muscle. One of the most common questions I get is, how do I put on muscle? How do I get jacked? How do I get shredded? So we're going to talk about that today. We're also going to do a fitness Q&A. So if you have any questions for me at all, please drop them in the comments. I'll answer anything. And a lot of times the Q&A portion of the show, that's where we all learn the most. There's a really regular group of people that drop in here noon Mountain Standard Time every Monday. That's 2 p.m. on the East Coast, 11 p.m. on the West Coast, 11 p.m. What am I saying? It's been a long day already. 11 a.m. on the West Coast. But anyway, I have a great group of community of people that ask questions and we learn together, and away we go. So that's the drill. So again, 3 simple ways we're going to put on some muscle, and then a Q&A, and that's what we're going to do today, all right? So the first question we've got here, I'm going to get right down to questions. Best exercise for chest. All right, so I don't know if I'm a big believer in the best exercise. Now, I know I use hooks sometimes on YouTube because that's what sells. But when you watch my videos, one of the things that I talk about is that there's no one size fits all. There's no cookie cutter program, right? So when you say what's the best exercise for chest, it really depends on your goal. Like if your goal is to have a massive bench press, if you're a world championship powerlifter, then the bench press is probably going to be your best exercise for chest. If you're a combative athlete like me, I won a jiu-jitsu world championship last year at the black belt level. I fought in the UFC. Then you could make an argument that the body weight exercises reign supreme. In my program itself, I do a lot of body weight exercises. I love push-ups. I love dips. I don't think there's anything better than those two. But then there's a lot of people who get a ton out of some dumbbell bench press. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to name off a few for you that I think are staples. I think some bench press is essential, whether you do it on a barbell or a dumbbell. I think a push-up is essential, and I think a dip is essential. I think those would be my 3 go-to chest exercises. But here's the kicker. If you don't have access to a bench or dumbbells, I think you could build an incredible physique with just dips and push-ups, right? On the other hand, I've seen people build an incredible physique with just the bench press. So those three would be at the top of my ladder. But put a little bit more emphasis on the body weight. That's my bias, all right? So when we're talking about the 3 simple ways to build muscle, the first one is to simply lift some weights on a regular basis. Like some type of resistance training is going to help you put on muscle. Now, when I say lifting weights, I actually corrected myself in that. What I meant to say was resistance training. Resistance training is important. So maybe it's weights, maybe it's bands, maybe it's the body weight type stuff that I do. So you can do some body weight stuff, but I need some resistance training. And I want to talk about my body weight routine for a minute, because a lot of people don't think I can be the size I am only, doing body weight type stuff. I'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I want to recognize my guy, Austin Peterson with the Super. All right. Thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate the support. By the way, Supers really helped me do this. LG1914 says, hello, sir. Enjoy your content. I appreciate that. If you enjoy my content, get your supers in, get your membership to the channel. That allows me to produce more content. You want more videos, you want more lives, you want more stuff from me, get those supers in. And it's not even like me trying to solicit sales or anything like that. It's a simple fact of time is money. Time that I'm taking to make those videos. You think those videos are free? You know what camera costs are, editing costs, thumbnail creation, like all that stuff costs, and I got to pay for it. So you want more content, Supers help me do that. And honestly, they make me feel really good. I ain't going to lie about that. I love when I get a super. It makes me really, really happy. So yeah, get your supers in. But anyway, Austin, pain with bench, incline, a good replacement. Yes, if you never did flat bench again and you only did incline, that would still benefit your chest in a tremendous way. Like you could do incline bench and just some push-ups and you would be 100% set. So, and I actually think incline bench is harder than flat. Like a lot of people cannot incline what they can flatten. So if you did only incline bench press with a couple of other things for the shoulders, the back, some body weight stuff, I think that would absolutely be okay, right? And even the programming that I was writing for you, if every time I said flat bench, you just did incline, it would work out good in the end. In fact, the more you go to incline to an overhead press, the better it is overall. All right, so 3 simple ways to build muscle. Back to that, we were talking about resistance training. That's like number 1. And I do a lot of body weight stuff. I do a lot of push-ups. I do a lot of pull-ups. I do a lot of dips. Like if you look at my workout yesterday, it was 50 pull-ups, 100 dips, 100 push-ups. The day before that, it was 50, 50, and 50. The day before that, it was another body weight day. I do a lot of body weight exercises. Now, I'm 6'3", 230 pounds. My body weight is hard. Like doing push-ups with this big frame, doing dips with this big frame is hard. It provides me with adequate resistance to putting on muscle. But the biggest thing when it comes to putting on muscle, and I'm going to be completely unscientific about this. Like you can read Mel Siff's Super Training. It's like one of the Bibles of training, right? You can read some of the stuff that the Russians did, like A.S. Prilepin, for example, famed Soviet sports scientist. You can look up all the science on this, and there are recommendations of what you should lift to put on muscle. Like 4 sets of 15 reps, 4 sets of 12 to 15 reps at 60 to 65%, 1 rep max, things like that. But the key is acidity, and that rep structure drives you to acidity, working till your muscles burn. The body's reaction to that is to put on muscle. It's why track cyclists have massive legs, because they're going around a track as hard as they can. Their legs flood with acidity, and the body says, hey, we got to put on some muscle to deal with this. So really anything that's going to make your muscles burn is going to help you build muscle. And that's why I like the body weight stuff. Doing a circuit that I do often, the Holy Trinity, I do 30 minutes of push-ups, pull-ups, and dips, just as many as I can of each. I do a set of pull-ups, I do a set of dips, I do a set of pull-ups, I do a set of push-ups, right? But doing that drives a huge amount of acidity to the muscles, and that triggers growth. So I'm really big on the body weight exercises, but really any resistance training. You could do this with bands, you could do this with dumbbells, you could do this with barbells. And every day I'm just looking to get some kind of pump or push my muscles close to failure, where I feel like that, what do the kids call it? Like the skin tearing muscle pump. If you can get to that point, you will put on muscle. And the more resistance training you can do, the better. So if you do resistance training once a week, you're going to put on a little bit of muscle maybe. Twice a week, a little bit more, 3 times a week, like that, I would say is the minimum. You're going to put on more muscle, but if you can do some type of resistance training 6, 7 days a week, you're going to put on a lot of muscle. And I said simple in this title. I know that sounds too good to be true, but everyone's looking for a magic program. Everyone's looking for a magic split. Like, honestly, you just need to lift more. Like, how many of you lift genuinely 6, 7 days a week? Because if you do, you're going to look like somebody who lifts 6, 7 days a week. If you're only showing up 2 to 3 days a week, I don't care what your split is. You're not going to put on that much muscle. Here we go. Any go-to exercises for abs and core, especially for stubborn lower body fat. So, Mr. Saha, thank you very much for the super. I appreciate that very much. I have no idea how much money that is, but hey, it's a super, so I will take it. So thank you very much. Here's the deal for belly fat, right? There are some exercises you can do to target the abs. I really like the sit-ups. I really like the push-up position. Plank, holding a plank at the top of push-up position and flexing your abs as hard as you can. But the biggest thing in getting rid of that stubborn lower body fat or lower belly fat is going to be diet. And I know you don't want to hear that, but it is diet. You have to be in a calorie deficit. That's it. So it's going to be dieting hard. So you got to start cutting your calories, right? And if you really want to get shredded, I would say for 3 months, 1,800 calories a day. Make sure you eat adequate protein in that 1,800 calories, probably 200 grams. That'll be 800 of the total calories, 1,000 remaining, eat whatever you want. But 1,800 calories a day for 30 days, along with a lot of cardio and weightlifting. That'll do it. Shred City. Not easy. Not easy at all. But that's what it takes. Like, you want to look like the cast and crew of the movie 300. That's what it is going to take. And that's what they were doing. Like that type of work, sometimes less calories than that. So that's what you're looking at. But back to resistance training. You want to do some type of resistance training every single day. If you can do that, regardless of the magic split, regardless of the magic thing, you're going to be bigger. Now, how I divide my split, I alternate upper and lower body days. So Monday I do lower, Tuesday I do upper, Wednesday I do lower, Thursday I do upper, Friday I do lower, Saturday I do upper, and then Sunday I usually kind of go by feel. Sometimes lower, sometimes upper. Kind of just how I feel from a recovery standpoint. If I go upper, I'll go pretty hard on a Sunday. If I go lower, I'll take it a little bit easy because I have to do a hard lower body power generated workout on Monday morning. So that's how I do it. But I know other people use different splits. They'll do like upper body push on Monday. They'll do upper body pull on Tuesday. They'll do legs on Wednesday. They'll do upper body push on Thursday. They'll do arms, like functional type arms on Friday. They'll do conditioning on Saturday. And that was actually my split for a lot of years. That's what built me into the person I am today. So that would be a good regiment, if you will. Lovely noted, please, how many sit-ups a day you suggest? I mean, I don't know if I suggest a certain amount of sit-ups a day. Like, I think you can do sit-ups. I think you can do planks. I really like knees to elbows. I really like feet to hands. I really like leg raises. I really like goblet squats. I really like front squats. I think there's a lot of functional activities that work your abs without actually working your abs. Like, I don't do a lot of sit-ups these days, a couple times a week with my program. I call the program T Maximus. It's on the Ladder app. But, you know, a lot of the stuff we do, the functional stuff, is going to work your abs apart from a specific ab exercise. So just something to consider. All right, so the number one way you're going to put on muscle, honestly, is just doing resistance training daily. And you need more resistance training. 3 out of 7 days a week, if you show up, you're showing up 42% of the time. You're going to put on 42% of the muscle, right? You show up 4 days a week, well, now we're looking at like 58% of the time. Well, it's still not a great number. 5 days a week, like 71% of the time. Not a great number. 6 days a week, now we're hitting 85% of the time. That sounds better to me. That sounds more palatable. So more resistance training, all right? The number 2 thing and the easiest thing to do is sleep. Sleep's where your body makes hormones. Sleep is where you recharge yourself. Sleep is where you get your energy. The more sleep, the better. If you were sleeping 8 hours a night versus 7, you would put on more muscle, guaranteed. And your hormones would be in a lot better state, which makes it a lot easier to put on muscle. My testosterone naturally is 951. Well, it was a year ago when I had it tested. I've had no reason to get it tested again. But the reason my testosterone is high is because I prioritize sleep. So if you can get good quality sleep, you will 100% put on more muscle. You have more testosterone, more human growth hormone. Now, conversely, if you get under 5 hours sleep a night, your testosterone will cut in half. That's a real problem. So I need you 100% to get more sleep. That's how that works. So I need to get more sleep and get better sleep. There's a thing called sleep hygiene. There's a couple sleep tips: cold room, warm feet. I wear socks to bed, cold head, warm feet. It helps a lot. The room itself is probably like 60 degrees because we leave the window open in the winter. In the summer, the air conditioning is cranking, but the colder the room, the better. You want that thing to be completely 100% dark, like blackout curtains where there is no light coming in whatsoever. You want to have a good mattress. You want to make sure that before bed you take a little bit of magnesium, preferably magnesium citrate. That will really help you sleep. If you can do those things, then you will sleep better. Probably limit electronics before bed too, to get rid of that like blue light. But if you could do all those things, you will have better sleep hygiene. So more sleep, better sleep hygiene. You can do that. It puts your hormones in an advantageous position and you will put on more muscle. All right, that is number 2. I'm going to drop number 3, but get your supers in. Get your memberships purchased. I would love to see like 1 million supers every single episode of these. If that was happening, man, I would go live every single day of my life. Like if everyone gave me like a $5 super, man, I would go live every single day. So get those supers in. That's it. The third thing you need to do is you need to eat more high quality protein. All right. I want red meat. I want chicken. I want fish. Those are the big 3. Actually, I'll make it the big 4, and eggs. Eggs are like nature's perfect vitamin. I know they're expensive right now, but red meat, chicken, fish, and eggs. If you can get those, that's your high quality protein. Those are your tier one choices. I want you to eat something like that every single meal. In terms of how much protein you should get, at an absolute minimum, okay, I want 1.3 grams per kilo a day. That's at an absolute minimum. Like, you cannot go under there by any means. But ideally, you want 2 grams per kilo. That's your ideal. So we're going to stick with the ideal. What's 2 grams per kilo? It's 1 gram per pound, right? So if you're 100 kilos, you get 200 grams of protein a day. That's like how that works. If you're 200 pounds, you get 200 grams of protein a day. That's your number one rule. And it's got to come from those high quality sources, ideally tier one sources. Now, people always ask, hey, is peanut butter a good source of protein? Is cheese a good source of protein? And I'm glad people ask that, because the answer is a little bit. Here's the deal. Here's my tiers in terms of protein. Tier one, red meat, eggs, chicken, fish, real food, not processed. I can get it from nature. Those are the ultimate. Tier two proteins. That's where I would put something like a protein powder. That's where I would put something like pork. That's where I would, and I say pork because bacon and sausage, like usually that's how you're ingesting it. A pork chop, I might actually put to tier one, but like a lot of pork products, animal products like that, you're not getting a ton of protein. So those would be like tier two. And then tier three would be like your cheeses and your nuts and your things like that. And the reason I put those on tier three is A, plant proteins are incomplete. You need meat protein to survive, however you want to get it, whether it's whey, whether it's animals, whether it's eggs, or whatever it is. So you need some meat protein. But also, generally, if you're eating a lot of nuts, to get the calories you need to consume, you're eating a ton of fat too. So nuts are a great source of calories. Cheese are a great source of calories, but I don't know if they are a great source of protein. Okay, so those are the tiers. Michael Glassmaker, my guy with the super, representing for Team Maximus. Thank you, and thank you for all your hard work. No one works harder than you. You're on your saunas, you're on your ice baths, you are on your working out. Makes me proud every single day. And a little secret for you, you're one of the people that inspire me. So thank you for your hard push. And you got a comment here. To get the protein, you must focus and write it down. Helps to get a handle on how much you have on a regular day. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I have a client at the gym that I said, how much protein you eating a day? You eating like a gram a pound a day? And he's like, yeah, I think so. So he started counting. And he was at 100 grams a day, and he needs 200. And he was shocked. He was floored. He's like, I don't know how he's eating so little, because he just wasn't paying attention. It's harder to get a gram per pound of protein a day than you think. It is like a whole thing to get that much protein. So, Michael, you're right. Like, you got to write that down. You got to track. And I think most of you will discover that you don't eat enough protein, and that's why you haven't been putting enough muscle on. But if you follow that protocol, you'll be a muscular person. I promise you. If you're doing resistance training 5-6 days a week, if you are sleeping 8 hours a night, and you're eating a lot of high quality protein, you will look like somebody who does those things. I absolutely 100%. And I know that sounds simple. You're like, well, I've been kind of doing that. Well, kind of. You've been resistance training 3 days a week. And when you do resistance training, you don't go that hard. You've been cutting back on your sleep, and you probably eat a lot less protein than you think you do. So you've kind of dabbled, but like, you haven't done the thing. For 3 months, listen, eat a gram per pound of protein a day. Commit to 8 hours sleep a night, and do some type of hard resistance training. Like, go to the point you're sore the next day. 6 days a week, and you watch what you look like in 3 months. You'll be like, wow, this is like, this dude, you just gave me the secret. I can't believe it was this simple. And then you'll realize how you weren't working before, how you weren't doing what you thought you did. Because everyone thinks they work out. Everyone thinks they show up and work hard, but they don't. So just something to consider. All right, those are your 3 simple things. And that's what my fitness advice is really about. It's keeping it simple. You want to talk supplements, we'll talk supplements. You want to talk working out, we'll talk working out. You want to talk mindset, we'll talk mindset. But for a lot of people, they need to hear the simple truth. Like, we live in this world with hacks and shortcuts and 3 easy payments and $9.99, and the stuff doesn't work. right? Like what works is real, genuine, hard work and effort, but people do not want to do that because it's difficult. And then they sit around and they're miserable. Like, stop letting people gaslight you. Like, literally, it's just about hard work. It's not easy, but as Michael just said, it's simple and achievable if you're willing to buckle down. And here's the other way to look at it, because two things can be true at the same time. Like, yeah, it takes a lot of commitment to show up every day for an hour and work out. But literally, an hour out of 24 hours in a day, that's 4% of your day. That's it. You can commit 4% of your day, right? Like just 4%. That's all I'm asking for. Like, it's really like, so two things can be true. Yeah, it's hard to show up an hour a day, but at the same time, I'm just asking for 4% of your day. That's really all it is. If you're willing to do that, if you're willing to eat right, if you're willing to sleep right, then you're going to look like somebody that does those things. That's my secret. That's what I've been doing. It's just consistently doing that for 30 years. That's all it is. And again, you can have the perfect workout split. You could do the upper Monday, the upper push on Tuesday. You could do the legs on Wednesday. You could do the shoulders on Thursday, the arms on Friday, the conditioning on Thursday, all those things, right? You could do upper, lower, upper, lower, upper, lower, upper, lower. You could do lower, upper, recovery, lower, upper, recovery. Like there are so many different splits you could do. You could do the old bodybuilding split: chest Monday, back Tuesday, legs Wednesday, shoulders Thursday, arms Friday. That's fine. But like the key is, if you're consistent and you're pushing yourself, you will see a massive, massive, massive result. I 100% promise you that. And that's what I'm all about. Real results for real people through keeping it simple and just showing up and doing the work. That's the answer. That's the secret you're looking for. I promise you. And one thing you will get with me is always that honesty and always that authenticity. Like, that's what it takes. And the minute you're ready to really do the work, you're going to see a massive change. So, Lewis, I've lost 46 pounds of fat in 5 months. Awesome job. That takes a lot of courage and a lot of hard work. So for what it's worth, I'm proud of you. Okay. Just by walking 2 hours a day and now building up muscles at 61 years old. And this is not fun, but it's motivating. You know what is fun? I say this all the time. All right. Yeah, sure. It's not fun walking 2 hours a day. Sure. It's not fun doing some resistance training. Sure. It's not fun to like struggle and be sore and tired and watch what you eat. But you know what is fun? Feeling great. You know what is fun? Looking sexy and looking good. You know what is fun? When people compliment you at the grocery store and tell you you look great. You know what is fun? When your friends say, wow, I can't believe the shocking transformation. Focus on that. I promise you, the good that you get from training will far, far outweigh the struggle in every aspect of your life. Zach Cody says the whole life changes around you when you do the hard work and being consistent. When you're not motivated, everything else feels boring and your body hurts all the time, even when you do nothing. I couldn't have said it better myself. The reason I'm so big on this working out stuff is working out will make you better in every aspect of your life. It'll help your sex life. It'll help your work life. It'll help you as a parent. It'll help you as a spouse. Like, it is the secret. And all it takes is a little bit of self-investment. That's it. 4% a day. 4% a day, you can absolutely 100% change your life. So here's the deal. You like this content? It is simple. It is straightforward, right? I do videos for you every week. New videos drop every Monday and Thursday. I go live every Monday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. You want to keep that train rolling? First of all, get your supers in. Subscribe. Make sure you turn your notifications on. Make sure you share this channel with all your friends. Watch the videos. I want every single person watching right now to go put a comment on my latest YouTube release. I almost couldn't spit that out. It's 7 ways to get jacked from home. One of those fancy titles that y'all like, but it's got some great information in it. Go put a comment on that video when this live is done. That would help me a ton. If you don't want to give me a super fine, but go do that at least. That's free. It costs you nothing, all right? And keeps me going. Official Kev. I'm thinking about strength training in the mornings because when I train at night, I don't sleep well, but my efforts in the morning are not as intense. Thoughts, that's a mindset shift, all right? First of all, the thing that's going to help you more than anything is simple consistency. So I would plan, intensity aside, I'll get to that in a minute, but I would plan to work out the time I'm going to get it done. If I knew I was going to miss it at the end of the day, I would always work out in the morning. I will prioritize getting something in versus nothing. But now, as far as the intensity, I think it's just going to take a time to make a mental shift. I would prefer to work out at 8 in the morning. That's like my go time, right? But there are times like yesterday, not yesterday, the day before, I was at my kid's Taekwondo tournament. He had nationals, not national, state championship. And I was working out, not working out. I was with him all day. I got home at like 6:30 at night. It was really hard to get that workout in, but I got it done and I flipped the switch. Learning to flip that switch is an essential part of the program. So maybe what you need to do is have a bit of a morning routine that puts you in the mood to work. Like maybe you wake up out of bed, you shower, you have a shot of coffee or pre-workout or whatever you do, and then you go get down to business, and that becomes go time. One of the things that actually triggers me is, and it's funny because when I talk about taking a pre-workout, it's not even, I don't think, the caffeine that does it for me anymore. It's the act of, usually the pre-workout tastes like a rocket pop, or it tastes like a raspberry, or it tastes like I don't know, it's got some fruity flavor. And the only time I drink that stuff is when I put ice in a shaker cup, the pre-workout in the water, makes a really cold, like fruit punch type drink, and I drink that down, and that triggers me like, hey man, I gotta go train. And it's funny because I went to England and the person I was staying with didn't have an ice maker. So I'd fill up a cup with water, put my pre-workout in, and I drink it, and I'm like, I don't think this is doing anything for me. So I stopped drinking it. And then I realized it wasn't pre-workout I was hooked to. It was like the regiment of the ice and the water and the fruit punch or whatever. Like I could have Gatorade and ice and it would like flip that switch, because the only time I drink it is pre-workout. So sometimes what I tell people to do, if you're having a hard time getting motivated, like have a special workout outfit you wear that you're wearing to work, right? Like you're working out your job. That's the only place you wear that outfit, is going to work out. So when you have that shower, when you use that special soap and you smell it, I use eucalyptus soap in the shower, but like it's like very specific. And I put on that workout outfit. It is go time, and start training yourself to flip that switch in the morning. It'll help. It's like cueing, or maybe it's a pump up song, like a walkout music for a UFC fighter. And I know a couple of things about that, but that's my advice. All right. Ivan, are you still doing shoulder presses? And what are your warm-ups like for legs and upper body? My warm-up for upper body is I do a lot of push presses with light dumbbells. I actually do this 2-minute drill, 30 seconds of pressing, 30 seconds of holds overhead, 30 seconds of pressing, 30 seconds of holds overhead. I'll do like 3 of those. And for my legs, generally the warm-up is 5 wall squats, 20 squats, 20 reverse lunges, 3 rounds. It's pretty standard warm-ups for me. Thank you for continued support too, by the way. All right. Zach Cody, thank you for the super. I don't know what RON is, but man, I am grateful. I appreciate the super. I wish more of you would follow that like Zach and get those supers in. Louis says, by the way, I walk 1 hour before breakfast at 7. That burns fat way faster. Romanian currency. All right. I am down. All right. Zach Cody, $2. I really, really appreciate you. Zach, are you in Romania? Like, is that where you're from? I'm assuming the answer is yes. I got fans all over the world. I love it. So thank you for coming by. Yes. Hey, question for you. Is Wallachia a real place? I think it's in Romania, right? Like Transylvania is in Romania, but is Wallachia a real place? It always comes up on my favorite show, Castlevania. But I really, I should just Google it. But now that you're here, I'm just asking you, all right? Louis, I don't know if 1 hour in the morning burns fat faster. I don't know. I'm actually going to check out Wallachia right now to see if it's a real place, Zach. We're gonna find out. This is the home of Vlad Dracula, all right? Let me see. This is kind of fun. All right, here we go. And Louis, I don't know if it burns faster in the morning, fat burning faster. I think you just have to walk every day. I think that's the big thing. And even before breakfast, like there's this whole thing on empty stomach training, how it goes out after fat faster and blah, 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 blah. To a degree, that might be true, but honestly, it's just the volume. Like for 6 months, if you walk 2 hours a day at night or 2 hours in the morning before breakfast and your eating habits were the same and calories were the same, I don't know if weight loss would be that much different by the end of that thing. All right. This is Wallachia. Now I'm on a whole nother planet. All right. I'm able to educate you, Zach, about your country. Wallachia is, I guess it's what Romania used to be called. So, here we go. Wallachia or Wallachia is a historical and geographical region of modern-day Romania. It is situated north of the lower Danube and south of something else, all right? And Wallachia in 1859 joined Moldavia to form the state of Romania. So there we go. We're learning. Wallachia was a real place, home of Vlad Tepes. All right. Nerd here. By the way, you should check out my other channel, Muscles and Magic the Gathering. It's where I do all my nerd stuff. But it comes out, obviously, sometimes during these. Rico, question, should I do leg training if I feel discomfort in my hip? I took a couple of days off, but still feel it when I do some leg exercises. I'm a fan from Amsterdam. Welcome. We are worldwide today. We are international. So people from all over the world. All right. It depends. You know, here's my deal with pain, and I'll just say this straight out. If it hurts, don't do it. If it doesn't hurt, do a lot of it. So I would find some leg exercises that you can do that don't hurt or don't fire it up. Now, if you've been training regularly and this is an acute injury, like something that happened in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or basketball or something like that, you can afford to take a couple of days off and just bike. Like your legs aren't going to like turn into sticks. You know what I mean? But if this is a long-term chronic problem, you got to start figuring out what hurts and what doesn't. Hopefully that makes sense. Isaiah Hobson says, I have a question pertaining to cardio. A little off topic. It's actually not off topic. I was going to talk about this, so I'm glad cardio won't ruin your gains. See, I just answered it for you. I do all the cardio, and I'm stacked full of muscles. I promise you 100% cardio will not ruin your gains. Was that your question? Zach, good to know. Just stored the info in my brain's useless info drawer. Ha. It's always great to learn more about anything, really. Yes, it is. And beware the power of Vlad Tepes. You need to actually look up some Vlad Tepes stuff. The baddest man in Romanian history. Savage, right? All right, there we go. There is our live today. Bobby Maximus Live every Monday, 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Don't forget, if you're not going to get those supers in, but you should get those supers in, support me so I can make more content. This stuff ain't free. Video editing, thumbnails, all the things. But if you can't do that, you know what you can do? You can go to my last video. It's 7 ways you can get jacked from home. Literally, my newest upload, apart from this live, and get your comments in. Like the video, heart it, comment it, share it with all your friends so we can grow this channel to the moon. Thank you for another live. Love you all. There's a lot of work, but I really, really enjoy it. One of my favorite things is to sit every Monday and talk to you. So I appreciate it. You know what to do, how to support me. And in the meantime, get to work. Push-ups ain't going to do themselves. I'm out.